I have never been more mad in my entire life. I just filmed this entire video. It took 30 minutes and I had my microphone set as the Astro one on my head, not my studio mic. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel again. What is up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel, guys. And today's video is going to be 5 things that pro players do that you guys should as well. Now, I already filmed this once. As I said, we're just going to jump straight into it. Enough of the bullshit. Number 1, automatic tack sprint. It's taken the community by storm. Everyone is talking about it. What is it? How do you do it? What are you talking about? So traditionally, when you tack sprint, you have to sprint and then double click your joystick into tack sprint. This is regular sprint, tack sprint, everyone knows. So traditionally, you have to do that. With automatic tack sprint, you only have to move your joystick up and it does it for you. It shaves that couple of seconds off to give you some extra slide cancels. And now that is the point of automatic tack sprint, is to increase your movement, give you a little bit more finesse. This is a tip more so for sub players than AR players. I personally do not play with automatic tack sprint. I don't really value it as an AR player. It's not something that like I'm too worried about. But sub player, look at Shotzi, Illy, Sim, Abizi, I'm sure they all play with auto tack sprint. It's just a setting that it allows you to finesse a little bit more. So instead of having to constantly click your sprint in and like do all that, you can just literally hold it forward, and every time you slide cancel, it resets it, so you can keep tack sprinting and keep slide canceling and keep tack sprinting and keep slide canceling, and it's great. That is tip number 1. It's super quick. It's something that I think, again, if you use a sub, if you use an AR, you could try it. I didn't really like it that much, but if you use a sub, 110%, I think you guys should at least try out automatic tack sprint. I think it's something that just breaks the cameras in this game even more, like we need it. But it's something that will just automatically increase your gameplay in terms of movement. So that is tip number 1 for sub players. Again, if you're an AR, try it out. Let me know what you guys think. Tip number 2 is one that whenever I watch these videos or whenever I see people talk about like tips and tricks and stuff like that, this isn't something that people talk about, and that is using and identifying angles to your advantage that people may know or people may not know, you know, stuff like that. So just an example, you can jump on top of this pylon right here and then jump on top of the scaffolding. A lot of you guys probably didn't know that. You probably thought you had to climb up the ladder or jump on the milk truck. Another one, you can look over middle map if you head glitch this weird roof thing. So there's a lot of angles on every single map. It doesn't matter what game mode it is, hardpoint, S&D, Dom, whatever. There's angles on every single map that a lot of people know about or may not know about that pro players utilize. Myself specifically, that's something that I like to think I built my career upon. That is that I'm really quick to identify like weird little nerdy angles and like things that other players may not know about, or they do and they don't know how to use them properly. An example of not using them properly would be this one. Everyone knows that you can like see into P3 right here. You can head glitch this and like look up. You can't really see top L from here unless you stand like this, but this gunfight actually kind of sucks because your whole body is essentially exposed. But if you move a little bit down to the right and you jump on this box instead, you can actually watch all of middle map, again, which you couldn't do from here. You had to crouch and like these little bars are in your way and stuff. So if you move onto the box a little bit to the right, again, you can still see into P3 easier. Actually, you can see bottom L and you can see top L, and the guy top L really can't kill you because now the bars are in the way of him. You can pretty much do anything from up there, but people only thought that you could jump on top of the little tent thing right here instead of the box. So that's just an example of what I'm talking about. There's a lot of like nerdy, cheeky angles on every single map that people know about or may not know about. Again, jump on top of these boxes and jump top 3, just another example. So identifying these weird spots and utilizing them is something that pro players do a lot more than a lot of people would. If you watch through CDL broadcasts, you'll notice like cells in some weird corner in an S&D that people may like, oh my god, that's such a good spot. So instead of running around the map looking like a burger, just identifying these weird little angles and things to add to your gameplay definitely will elevate you above a lot of other people that don't know about them. Again, me specifically, it's something that I built my career upon, like identifying all these little weird things like, oh my god, where did this guy just kill me from? That's my favorite. That's my go-to. So that is tip number 2. That one's actually my personal favorite on this list of the 5. Number 3 is, how do you choose to engage gunfights? Now, what do I mean by this? There are like 6 different ways to do it in this game. You can slide cancel, you can burger walk, you can drop shot, you can bunny hop, you can like there's so many different ways to engage in every single gunfight, and mastering one of them or getting really good at all of them, like players I can think of off the top of my head, Shotzi is incredibly good at slide canceling. I'm really good at bunny hopping. Pristini's super good at drop shotting. That's his go-to. A lot of people, I recognize that playing him a lot, that he loves to drop shot corners. So what do I mean by that? How do you engage a gunfight, right? So say it's the break of Hackney Yard and you spawn on good side, and you know there's going to be someone top L. This gunfight happens 120% of the time. There's always a guy around this corner, or there's a guy like right in front of you. So what do I mean by engaging gunfights? So I can come up here, hit him with a bunny hop around the corner. I can hit him, come over here, hit him with a drop shot right here. I can just tack sprint around the corner and break the camera. I can slide cancel around the corner like that. Like, there's so many different ways to engage in every gunfight in this game because of how many different movement mechanics that there are, that if you get good at all of them, then it'll just, again, increase your skill above all of your friends, and it'll help out a bunch. That's why all this new talent coming up in the pro scene, think about Mac, Illy, Shotzi, like all these guys have really, really good movement. It's something that's really important in Call of Duty. Every year it's increasingly becoming more and more important. Last year it was like the snaking, crack aim, like slide cancel. This year it's bunny hopping, slide canceling, tack sprint. Like, there's just so many things this year that help you engage in gunfights. That is something that you guys should definitely add to your gameplay. Just figure out, you know, if one of those things works for you better than all the others, get really, really good at that one and then work your way down. That's what I did. I'm not the best slide canceler because, again, how the way I play, but I'm really good at bunny hopping. That's just like my go-to. If you guys watch me play, I bunny hop pretty much everything. So that is tip number 3. And tip number 4 has nothing to do with your controller or how you're playing in the game, and that is identifying your weaknesses and VOD review. Now, what do I mean by that? If you can't identify your own weaknesses, you can listen to a teammate. I wasn't too good at it when my career first started, but now I can do it fairly well. And identifying your own weaknesses and what you need to get better at is super crucial. Whenever I give interviews and people are always like, oh my God, Sam, like, what piece of advice would you give an aspiring pro player? And I always say the ability to take criticism and like internalize it and make yourself better is something that like a lot of people aren't good at. But if you get good at it, it helps immensely. That's why I love teaming with players like Cap, Danny, Austin, Ian, Jerry, like all these people that have the ability to give criticism. Like, sometimes it's not in the best way. If you're not really good at taking criticism and you team with Austin, then he's going to sound like a dick and you're not going to internalize it very well. But if you're good at it, then he tells you, oh, you fucked up right here. Like, why would you do that? And you're thinking like, oh yeah, like maybe I shouldn't have chowed that instead. So just the ability to take criticism and understanding that they're there to help you, not hurt you, is something that is really, really good. Listening to your teammates and internalizing it and yada, yada, yada. And the VOD review thing. Now, the thing about VOD review, at least in my opinion, it helped me immensely throughout my career. Obviously, you can watch VOD and identify your issues with it and like, oh, why the hell did I go over here into this corner instead of, you know, helping my teammate push this out, right? The thing that I always did was I would record my own gameplay, obviously, but I would wait to watch it. Say if I scrimmed on Monday, I would wait until Tuesday night to watch it because I would be in a completely different headspace. Say if it was a bad day of scrims and I watched that VOD back, I'm like, oh man, like that day would suck. Like, chalk that whole map, right? Like, chalk that whole map. I don't care about anything that happened. Like, yeah, I pushed this out, but we lost full, so it didn't matter. F that. If I watch it on Tuesday and I'm like, okay, I'm in a clear headspace. It's a new day. Like, I'm ready to approach Call of Duty in a different light. If I watch the VOD back, I'm like, okay, yeah, we might have lost full, but right here, this was just a stupid play regardless if we were playing like idiots or not. Like, oh my God, I chowed out of the hill right here and died. Like, why did I do that? That's stupid. I'm never going to do that again. Like, that kind of thing, it helps a lot. At least for me specifically. I don't know if other players do that. I think you guys should try it. It helps me a bunch because, you know, some days I just like don't want to listen to anyone and I go back and watch my own VOD and I'm like, fuck it, bro. Like, today just sucked. Like, everything I was doing today was just because we all lost full and it didn't matter. That's not the case. I still did dumb stuff that I shouldn't have done, period, even if I was in a wrong headspace. So that is tip number 4, identifying criticism, internalizing it, and making yourself better, and then watching VOD. And try the couple of day thing. It always helps me. And moving on to tip number 5, and this is the cliche that is in every single tip video, but it's a cliche for a reason, meaning that it's true, is that you need to have a comfortable foundation of settings. What do I mean by comfortable foundation? Comfortable foundation meaning that you need to identify a set of settings, LOL, that is comfortable for you that you can build all of these other tips on. So again, think of the engaging the gunfights thing, right? If I play on 5-5, point 3 dead zone, and standard aim assist, but a week later I'm like, I don't, this doesn't feel too good. I'm gonna switch my aim assist to dynamic. I'm gonna up my dead zone, lower my sensitivity. Like, okay, you went from this foundation with those settings before, and you moved up a little bit every single day because you kept improving and you kept playing. Okay, I went from here and like, okay, I'm going to change everything. Now you're back down here again and you have to restart the process. You need to identify a set of settings that you're willing to hold and cement that you can build upon. So at the very beginning of this game, I always play on a sensitivity that's a little bit higher than most people, but in this game, I really didn't like it. I tried 7-7 for like a month, and I was like, okay, this really isn't working that well for me. I'm going to lower it. And then since then, I've played on 6-6. I haven't changed anything. Standard aim assist. The dead zone thing just got added, but dead zone. I played on 1-1 multiplier, so I've kept the settings consistent, and that allows me to build. Think of it like last year, right? If you were a Tempest player and your team randomly switched you to Crash, now you have to play differently because, okay, I have to learn how to use Crash on breaks. I have to figure out when is the opportune moment to use it. Should I use it for streaks right here? If you're using a Tempest, then, okay, should I pop it for streaks right here? Should I use it to hold a choke on this hill? Think of it like it just changes the way you play the game. It's the same way for settings. If I need to switch my settings from 5-5 to 7-7, 5-5 to 6-6, if I want to change my dead zone, it's like, okay, I've built such a good foundation for myself and I've moved up the ladder incrementally, and now I'm back down to the bottom again because I switched a bunch of stuff. So finding settings that you can identify for yourself as comfortable and building something from that is the most important tip on this list, in my opinion, because all of the other things kind of are a result of your gameplay, and this is, again, like the root of your gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I filmed it twice now. That's cool. Again, the spots tip was definitely my favorite on here. There's a lot of those things that I showed you guys on every single map. I'm sure if you watch me or any other pro player for that matter, there's always people that use these little things that you might not know about. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to leave a like. If you did, please leave a like. I filmed this twice. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.